He was talking about that there was two types of chemo, excuse me, radiation would be the one time a day, but I live in Grove Hills, so that would be an awful lot of traveling for me. Then he'd have talked about one that I would do twice a week. But, there was nothing discernible on this PET scan.
That's correct.
So he said that it would kind of be my call.
Okay.
Whether I wanted to go into radiation or wait and have another PET scan.
So, and I know you're still going to talk with Dr. Scalisi, so I've talked with her extensively about your case. And one of the concerns is, so I think either way radiation is, I think they discussed it in their tumor board, they wanted to do radiation. I think that's fine, or a good idea. The concern is that if there was some type of tumor spillage while this was taken out, hopefully we can try to contain things, that kind of thing. So, and I think this is the way we go in terms of what radiation to give. Dr. Russell is going to be your guy to tell you what to do, because that's outside of my wheelhouse, because I'm not a radiation oncologist. So, do you also have an appointment with the USA radiation oncologist?
No.
Or this was it? Okay. So, and then in terms of follow-up, you're welcome to follow up with me or Dr. Scalisi. I don't think it makes sense to follow up with both of us, because she is also an oncologist. She's just very specific to your type of cancer, which is cervical cancer, right? Which is what we're presuming this is.
Okay, well now the way Dr. Russell presented it to me was that it was not from that, and that this was a brand new cancer. I don't see how, but
the answer is we don't know. Okay, we don't know 100%. I do believe, let me double check something real quick. I have this in my brain, but it's been such a long time that I don't remember if I'm making things up or if it's truly in my brain. Give me a second. Yeah, so the tumor in that mass, in that lymph node, was positive for something called P16. Okay, P16 is actually a tumor suppressor protein, and it can be seen in lung cancer and things like this, but it is a surrogate marker for HPV, for an HPV-driven cancer. Okay, almost all cervical cancer is HPV driven, like almost exclusively. And so this being P16 positive, in this distribution of where it's located, to me gives more credence to the idea that this is a recurrence of cervical cancer. Okay, and that's also what Dr. Scalisi believes. So that's kind of the team I fall into. And I'm not sure, maybe Dr. Russell wasn't, he hasn't been part of our discussion, so I'm not sure. But I don't think this is a new cancer of some sort. I think this is a recurrence of this. I think as unlikely as that also is, right? Because this was so long ago. So I talked to Dr. Scalisi. She said whatever you feel more comfortable with, to follow one of us. I mean, you're more than welcome to follow both of us. I don't know if your insurance will cover that, and it's more time, double the time that you get to spend sitting in a waiting room in a doctor's office. Right. So, I mean, if I were you, I would want to pick one.
Yeah, well, I could go with her, but I already had this appointment.
Yeah.
I was already down here, so I thought.
Totally fine. And if you say, yeah, I'll go with her, then what I'll say is, okay, follow up with her and continue that. And if ever she feels like I need to be involved, or you feel like I need to be involved, just make another appointment with me. It's totally fine.
Well, basically, I think I've made my decision on what I'm gonna do, and I think I'm gonna wait 3 months and see where I'm at.
So you don't want to do any radiation?
I don't.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Can you talk with Dr. Scalisi about it before you make a final decision on that?
Sure, I'll talk with her, but I've made my decision.
Okay.
I don't, you're not giving me anything, you're not showing me anything on that PET scan that's there.
That's correct. However, do be aware that the PET scan is only good for things that are a centimeter or bigger, okay? It is what we're trying to treat by doing this radiation is things we cannot see. I am not surprised there was nothing on that PET scan.
Yeah.
What I'm worried about is microscopic disease that I cannot see, okay?
Yeah.
And if we don't treat, there's a chance that there's something there that'll grow and then it's, in 3 months it's there. If we do treat, that is also possible, right? That we don't get everything or whatever. So, I'm not saying this is a magic bullet, but I just want you to be aware of that. Ultimately, you get to make your own decision on that.
Well, where I understand that this came from is from the cervical cancer that I had back 30, 40 years ago, and that my body had trapped this. It kept it in check until my body went through all the trauma that it went through with the open heart surgery and all of that.
You know what?
And it released it.
There could, and the way I would describe it is potentially some immune suppression that occurred during this time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's highly conjectured. Who knows? But anyway, my recommendation would be to do the radiation, but you get to drive your ship. You get to decide what to do. I would recommend you talk with Dr. Scalisi, and then if you want to follow up with her, and then she can always send you back to me if there's any concern.
Right. Well, if that cancer came from the cervical cancer that I had 30, 40 years ago, and my body held on to it that long, and then, like I said, the trauma came on and my body released it because my immune system got low. My thing is, if it held on to it that long in my body, what is 3 months?
Well,
give or take.
True, but the question is, has it now lost its grip on that, right? That I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
And I feel like that going into radiation is kind of getting the cart before the horse. What if I need it later on? What if we didn't even hit where it was? I mean, there's a lot of
There are a lot of
what
ifs. There are a lot of ifs. I mean, you're not wrong on that. Okay. My concern is that if we, or all of our concerns, is that if we don't do radiation, and I'm not telling you any of this to convince you, by the way, I'm just making sure that you know everything that is in our brain. The concern is that if in 3 months it has gone somewhere else or has grown, at that point, maybe radiation is no longer an option, right? What we're trying to do here is go for a cure. That's the intent. Now,
but like I said, y'all wanting to radiate a localized area. This is what Dr. Russell was saying, that it would be just a little square by square, where that was located.
Right.
Well, what if that's not where it pops up?
Right. Well, that's a valid concern.
Then we've got a one, say, in my lung.
Sure. That is a possibility. Then maybe we've at least prevented it in that spot, but that is a possibility, right?
I would rather wait and see.
Okay. Well, speak with Dr. Scalisi. Let me know if you want to come back and see me. The other thing I did want to do is, I don't know if we didn't do this here, but I wanted to send this off for something called CARIS, which does like a tumor genetic. I did do that because I didn't write it in my notes.
It's in my eye chart.
Okay, good. Let me see then if this is back. I thought that I did that. I thought I looked at it. Yeah, right here. Yeah, not really much of. Okay. All right.
So did you discern anything new from reading that, or?
No, not really. So they do this thing at this company where they can take the mutations that they have and give you an idea of what this cancer might be. It's very rudimentary technology at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't do that on yours because of the way I submitted it. But I'm gonna ask them to do it. So I can do that in retrospect. That's fine. They can do that.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll do that, and I'll, and then just talk with Dr. Scalisi and go from there.
So I'll just make an appointment with her.
Yeah, and I'll let her know today too that you
Okay.
decided that, okay, and what the decision is on the radiation.
Okay.
And that you'll talk to her about it as well.